TomoNews presents Horses.
Chinese guy rides a horse to generate buzz, ends up falling. So you thought horseback riding meant a leisurely ride by the sea. Well, apparently not in China, where this young daredevil decided to go for a death race on the streets of Laiyuan. He actually demonstrated some pretty convincing skills, cutting the flow of cars, Fast and Furious style. However, his glorious ride didn't last too long. A few hundred meters further, he was found lying on the floor, looking severely hurt and missing his shoes. Amazingly, he got away with a mere broken arm. The crazy stuntman later explained that he had been inspired by internet videos and that he did this only to generate buzz. Well, in that case, he was more than successful.
Photo of dying police horse being comforted by her human patrol partner in the street goes viral. This photo captures the heartbreaking moment of a Houston police officer in her final moments, with her partner by her side to the very end. Officer Charlotte and her longtime partner, Officer Damian Harazan, were working downtown on December 3rd when the horse suddenly got spooked by traffic. When she spun around in a panic, she bucked her rider and was struck by an oncoming cement truck. She died soon after. The image of Officer Charlotte being consoled by Officer Harazan has gone viral on social media, with thousands of likes, shares, and condolences from users who've been moved by the power of the team's bond. In remembrance, the Houston Police Department posted these fun pics of Officer Charlotte, saying the 6-year-old always reported for duty and did an outstanding job for the 4 years she did it. They say a picture says 1,000 words, but this one truly only needs 3. Ride or die.
Trapped horse gets rescued. This body cam footage shows the moment Michigan deputies and firefighters help save a trapped horse's life. But how on earth did the poor animal wind up there?
There we go.
According to a post on the Macomb County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, the animal took a fall inside an ice-covered pond. Police say they responded to the call at 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, December 13th at a residence in Ray Township. Deputies tried to help the horse out with ropes, but the animal couldn't get its leg over the ice. And during the course of their rescue, one of the officers actually fell into the icy pond with the horse. Here that is again, from the falling officer's body cam. Police say he was trying to get a rope on the horse's bridle, but evidently that led to an icy bath. But the officer quickly got back out and managed to continue working to save the horse. He wasn't hurt. With the horse still trapped, they tried using a digger to pull it out of the pond. That didn't work either.
Yeah, I can't get his legs up.
Left with little options and with the animal now very, very cold, firefighters and deputies quickly set about hammering the frozen ice. And then, finally, after all their efforts, the horse manages to find some footing and pull itself out of the water.
Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on. Back up. Come on.
Police say the horse was seen by a vet and was uninjured. Now how's that for a happy ending?
There we go.
Spooked horse gets hit by taxi and collapses in New York City street. A horse in Midtown Manhattan found himself wedged under a cab after suddenly getting spooked while being ridden along a busy city street. Horses, busy city street, wonder how that could have happened. The morning of May 15th, 2 men were seen riding the horses up 8th Avenue near 56th Street, when the brown one, Billy, suddenly freaked out. Frightened, Billy the horse ran backwards down the street, going against traffic. The horse then bucked, throwing his rider to the ground. At that moment, witnesses say a taxi van drove up behind and collided with Billy, trapping his front left leg underneath the vehicle. The men riding the horses then worked to pull Billy out from under the cab and get him back on his feet. Passerbys took photos and videos of the scene following the accident, showing the horse was able to walk out from the street, though a bit gingerly. One pedestrian said a veterinarian on site did check Billy for major injuries and claimed he was fine. The pedestrian then added he was shocked to see Billy's handlers put the saddle back on him. The men proceeded to quickly check Billy's hooves out, give him a few pats on the head, and go back on their way. Billy was formerly a horse-drawn carriage horse, but has more recently been used to provide $150 horseback rides in Central Park. Unsurprisingly, horses forced to work in New York's chaotic conditions run into these kinds of accidents every so often, which has led animal activists to work tirelessly to have the industry shut down. During his political campaign, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said if elected, he would end horse-drawn carriages in his first week on the job. Yet more than 3 years later, the carriages remain, and horses still walk the highly trafficked Midtown streets. For shame.
Here's how horses got their hooves. A new study can now finally explain how and why horses evolved from having toes to hooves. Equines, such as horses and zebras, are unique for being the only living animals with only one toe on each foot. But this wasn't always the case. The earliest horses were small and lived in forests, with 4 digits on their front legs and 3 on the back. The side toes were essential and helped carry their body weight. As their habitat transitioned from forest to grassland, horses' bodies grew larger and their side toes started to shrink. To compensate for the extra load, the middle toe bone became thicker and more robust. Transitioning to a single toe may have also made it easier for the animals to run farther and faster. The study examined fossilized bones of ancient horses and used computer simulation to determine how the bone structures bore the animal's weight.
Researchers in Norway teach horses to communicate with people. Researchers in Norway have made a breakthrough in the study of animal cognition, using symbols to help horses communicate their level of comfort to humans. In the study, 23 horses were exposed to a range of hot, cold, and warm temperatures and given 3 symbol boards to select from based on what they experienced. If a horse nudged the board with the horizontal line, it communicated to the researchers the horse felt cold and was asking for its blanket. If a horse nudged the board with a vertical line, it communicated that it felt hot and wanted the blanket removed. If a horse nudged a board with no symbol on it, it was communicating it felt comfortable. Horses were given a carrot for making the correct choices. It was clear whether the horses were choosing the symbols that corresponded with their comfort, as they were either covered in thick blankets designed to make them uncomfortably hot, or taken outside in freezing cold temperatures which would call for them to demand a blanket. The horses learned to provide their preferences after only 14 days of 10 to 15 minutes of training each day. This new research groups horses in with apes, dolphins, and pigeons as animals proven to be able to communicate with humans through symbols.
Horses. Yes, real live horses were seen bolting down a major highway in Mexico City on Monday. The police brought them in to keep a protest at the Congress under control. But then a car's engine spooked one, and it took off. Then all his friends followed suit. A taxi was destroyed and a bunch of other cars got wrecked. One man got stomped on, but is okay. The government said it will pay for the damage.
Bride thrown from horse during wedding photo shoot.
Rancher on horseback lassos bike thief in Walmart parking lot. Yeehaw! A hero on a horse chased down a wannabe bike bandit in an Oregon Walmart parking lot last Friday and roped him like he was at the rodeo. Rancher Robert Borba was loading his cattle trailer with dog food and a camping tent when he heard a woman yelling that someone was stealing her bike. Borba said, "I seen this fella trying to get up to speed on a bicycle. I wasn't going to catch him on foot. I just don't run very fast." The 28-year-old rancher quickly unloaded his horse Long John from the back of his trailer. Borba and his horse then chased the alleged thief as the suspect struggled with the gears of the bicycle. The suspect, 23-year-old Victorino Ariano Sanchez, then ditched the bike and tried to run away on foot. Borba caught up to Arena Sanchez and threw his lasso around his legs and dragged him to the ground like roped cattle. Borba said the man tried to grab a tree and get free, but Borba and Long John kept the rope taut. The rancher then called 911 and kept the suspect under ropes for about 15 minutes until the Eagle Point police arrived. Ariano Sanchez was arrested and charged with misdemeanor theft. NYPD mounted unit reins in mugger by Rockefeller Center Station. Whoa, Nelly. An NYPD mounted unit cop and his horse Brooklyn stopped a mugger from getting away at the Midtown subway station on Monday night. Officer Andrew Yosef was with Brooklyn on 6th Avenue near West 47th around 8 p.m. when a passerby told him there was a fight at a Rockefeller Center subway station. When he went to investigate, Officer Yosef saw a suspicious 23-year-old man leaving the station. Right after that, a 23-year-old woman ran out of the station with a bruised face, claiming that someone had just punched her and stolen her purse. Realizing the mugger was the man who had just run out of the station, Officer Yosef radioed for backup and went after the suspect. Yosef and Brooklyn quickly caught up to the suspect and brought him back to the subway station, where the victim identified him as her attacker. Mounted Unit Officer David Stagliano and his horse Pugsley also assisted in the grab. The suspect, identified by police as Michael Reddish of Brooklyn, was charged with robbery, while the woman was taken to the hospital for observation.
A missing horse has been found after its owner enlisted the help of an animal psychic. Gemma, the Norwegian fjord pony, escaped from her stable near Seattle last Sunday. At some point, the 4-year-old tumbled down a steep ravine before settling on a ledge. Caretakers searched for hours but had no leads, and so the animal's former owners turned to pet psychic Joan Ranket. After seeing a picture, the woman claimed she had entered telepathic contact with the pony. Ranket said the animal told her it was in a tight space and could hear sounds like traffic and running water. That was all owner Barbara Lindstedt needed to pinpoint the location. On Tuesday morning, they went straight to the ravine and found Gemma. Rescuers then tied a fire hose around the pony, gave her a helmet, and pulled her out. Do you think this horse whisperer's psychic claims are legit? We say nay.